Before we go further, I need to correct something. When most people hear the word feminine, they hear weakness, they hear softness, they hear something secondary. That misunderstanding is not harmless, okay? It is quietly costing us more than we realize. In the last episode, I gave you the masculine framework, 5 elements, biological signs, the theta window, the dopamine architecture of fragmented mornings. Good to hear in terms of science, philosophy, in terms of how brain works, in terms of how our human consciousness evolve each day, what happens during sleep, what is sleep. There is something more to that, okay? And the reason we are here is because you are not here for motivation. And I know that. You're here because something inside you already recognizes this. Perhaps we don't have exact words, which is fine, but this is something completely relatable. So in this episode, I'm not giving you more structure. I'm giving you the thing that structure alone cannot sustain. You must understand this. Universe have 2 prominent and primary powers, masculine and feminine. And everything from stone to mountain, everything from an atom to your smartphone goes or happens because of the concept, the mix of masculine and feminine. All right, we will go deep into this. We will dive deep into this. But I'm giving you the thing that structure alone cannot sustain, the other half. If the last episode was skeleton, this is what makes it breathe. This is day 2 of 0600 protocol. This is feminine mechanics. And personally, it's what I'm here for. It's what I'm supposed to do. It's what world could not get it right. But that's all right. That's okay. We all live in a reality that is only 100 years old. The universe or the creation or humans could be more than 300,000 years old, could be more than 60,000-year-old carbon-dated tools are there in the museum these days. But a human consciousness generally is shaped to what he sees around him, what's alive around him. We don't have the wisdom that was there nearly 5,000, 6,000 years ago. But that's okay. We are all evolving. So let me explain this clearly before we go any deeper, okay? The word feminine doesn't mean what most people think it means. Most of us were taught quietly over time that feminine means soft, means passive or secondary. That teaching is just wrong. It is the precise misunderstanding that is costing us, costing you, costing me, costing the entire universe. We do not understand in your breath, in your health, in your creativity, in your relationships, the quality of everything you're trying to build. The feminine is not the absence of power. It is the origin of it. Structure without flow is a dam without water. The dam is impressive, but it produces nothing. Follow me here for a second. In physics, there is something called the 0-point field. I call it the Shiva consciousness. I call it the state of thinking nothing. I call it the state of zero thoughts. Ancient wisdom called it Akash, space, or emptiness. But modern science tells us it is not empty at all. It is the most generative state in all of matter. Everything that exists, every atom, every thought, every action emerged from this ground state. The feminine principle is this generative ground. The masculine is the form that shapes it. Remove one and the whole system breaks. This is the physics, not metaphor, not ideology, not the culture war version of this conversation. This is how the universe actually works. At the quantum level, at the biological level, and at the level of your mornings. In the last episode, you saw what happens when structure is absent. The fragmented morning, the reactive nervous system, the scattered day. Now, let me show you the other side. What happens when flow is absent? The rigid higher achievers or the burned out builders, the person who produces everything but feels nothing, okay? Let me take you inside the science of this, but stay with me. I'm going to make it simple. In 1975, the Hungarian psychologist named Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi documented something extraordinary. He was studying what makes people most alive, or rather, what makes people feel most alive. And he kept finding the same state across artists, athletes, surgeons, musicians, a state he called flow. A flow. In flow, the brain imaging shows something called transient hypofrontality. Now that sounds technical. Let me translate it into something real. The prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that runs your inner critic, the voice that says you are not enough, not ready, not smart enough. In the flow state, that voice goes quiet, not because you suppress it, but because the brain by design shuts it down when it operates at its peak. So the part of you that you spend all day trying to optimize is the same part the brain voluntarily suspends when you are truly alive. Ancient wisdom called it shunyata, the zeroness. The neuroscientists call it transient hypofrontality. Same door, different keys. Now here is what blocks flow chronically, invisibly in the modern world. And I want you to think about your own mornings as I say these three things, okay? The first blocker is chronic stress activation. When your cortisol is elevated all day, from reactive mornings, from no recovery, from unprocessed pressure, the brain cannot deregulate, okay? It stays in survival mode. The creative genius becomes neurologically inaccessible. Not a mindset problem, it's a chemistry problem. The second blocker, dopamine depletion. Hear me out. A research by Dr. Anna Lemke shows that the same dopamine deficit state created by morning screen exposure also suppresses intrinsic motivation, the exact fuel deep creative work runs on. You start the day in debt before you have spent anything. And now the third blocker, and this is the one nobody talks about, the absence of feminine current in your morning. And you know what? Mornings itself is feminine hour of your day. The masculine morning structure, discipline, execution prepares you to act. But without receptivity, stillness, and creative openness, the system can produce but cannot generate. It runs on stored energy, not renewable energy. I'm talking in simple, plain English here. Hear me out. Think of the greatest creative minds across history. Musicians, scientists, writers, athletes, independently across different cultures and countries over centuries. They all arrived at the same practice. Before the work, there was reception. Before the output, there was openness. Morning is not only for ignition, morning is also for opening. The exact protocol for creating that state how to move your nervous system from structure into flow without losing what you build in the masculine morning. It's being built into a code. In the last episode, I gave you 5 elements of biological realities. Now I want to show you the other face of each one, because each element has 2 expressions. The masculine expression is the structure, containment, direction. The feminine is the flow, generation, reception. Most productivity culture teaches you to develop only masculine face. And here is what have been missing.
Remember, this is not an advice. This is code. See you at sunrise.